feel like the thing we end up doing in life, added interactions, and then that's kind of when I went all in with it.
Life to helping people find their voice and find their confidence.
I always feel like the thing we end up doing in life tends to be something that had a massive impact on us when we were younger. I don't know if you find the same to be true, but for me, man, Jay, when I was young, I was such a bad communicator. I was so bad at interactions with human beings. And the reason for that is because English is my third language. So I grew up first learning a Chinese dialect called Dijiu, and then I learned Vietnamese, and then I learned English. So there was just a period of my life where I didn't understand what anybody was saying to me, and I couldn't communicate with other people. So I just went through a period of life where I felt really isolated. I didn't realize that I was doing it in my career, but as I learned how to communicate more effectively, became a professional speaker, all of this, I went, oh wow, now I have this skill that I can teach other people. So the moment I just tried teaching it, I felt fulfillment, and I never really felt that level of fulfillment before. That's when I decided, oh wow, it's cool to do it yourself. It's even cooler to help other people do it. And then that's kind of when I went all in with it and found so much fulfillment. And again, I'm sure you get this all the time, but it's the comments, the emails you get, and you're like, oh wow, I'm doing something that matters.
Yeah.
Whereas before I was a magician. So I did that for years. And it feels weird to say it because I don't want to talk down on what magicians do. Not at all. It's just for me, the applause at times when I was doing magic, it felt really empty to me because I did it for so long and it started to feel a little bit empty. And then when I started teaching public speaking and communication skills, it felt full. It felt better. It felt more fulfilling.
From the way you're talking about it, you're saying that everyone can go from being a shy, insecure, unconfident speaker to being a prolific speaker like yourself.
Yes, because it's all just a series of behaviors. Everything you and I are doing right now, everything you see a great communicator do on stage, everything you see a great creator do on video, it's just a series of behaviors. The way you're moving your mouth, the way you're manipulating airflow, the way you're moving your hands, it's all just behaviors. So when people say, oh, I'm shy, I always say to them, oh, that's because you've been practicing the shy behaviors for the last 15, 20, 30, 40 years. Being a confident communicator, that's just another series of behaviors that you can practice. And if you practice that for 10, 20, 30, you'd be a confident communicator, right? So it's just behaviors that we get attached to because it becomes a part of our identity. And then I think when it becomes a part of our identity, all of a sudden now, we feel like we're stuck, but you're not. And then there's this really interesting concept, I don't know if you've come across it before, where it's, where does your voice come from? Where do you get your voice from? You learn how to communicate based on the people you were inspired by when you were young. And you just learn behaviors from them. Like I'm watching my daughter now, my daughter Melody, she's 1. And I can see her watch us and then start to mimic the things we do.
Right.
Right? My wife the other day met her spaghetti. She wouldn't eat it. So my wife was furious. She was so upset. She was like, you're not eating it. And then she goes, She does the exact same thing, right? And then my son, he picks up the way I speak because he's 7 now. I notice he has certain nuances that I have. So again, the voice you currently have, people think, oh, that's my natural voice. It's like, no, it's not your natural voice.
Yeah.
You lost your natural voice when you were 2 or 3 years old, right? Whereas the voice you have now, that's your habitual voice. It's just a series of habits. And the thing that I find the most fascinating is that when the habits move from your conscious mind and it goes into your subconscious mind, now you feel it's a part of you and now you're stuck with it. But in the beginning of your life, you had to consciously think, oh, dad speaks really softly, so I'm going to speak really softly. But the moment you do that for 2, 3 years, now it moves into your subconscious mind. And then you go, oh no, that's me. No, it's still just a series of behaviors. And that's all that it is.
Yeah. I've always loved that model of unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence.
Yes.
And for anyone who doesn't know it,
4 stages, man.
The 4 stages. The bottom stage is unconscious incompetence, when you are unconscious of your incompetence. You have no idea what you're doing wrong. You probably don't know that you are, try and fill every pause, say like at the end of every sentence, whatever it may be. And we all have an unconscious incompetence, especially in the way we speak. Mm-hmm. And that's when we have this mindset that you're saying, where we think it's our voice, but actually it's just practice behaviors. Mm-hmm. And then above from that, which is what I love, this is what you do so phenomenally well when you're with your audiences, is conscious incompetence. You're helping people become aware of how our body language, our voice, our tonality affects us. And then above that, for everyone who doesn't know the model, is conscious competence.
Correct.
Where now you know why you move your hand that way and why you choose to lower your voice or lower your pitch or whatever it may be.
And that's kind of a frustrating part for people to be at stage 3.
Right.
Because they go, I know it, but then I still have to think about it. So when they do it, it's really interesting because I see my students do this all the time where they go, hello, everybody. It's great to be here. And then they go, Vin, this feels so fake. It feels so phony. But I'm like, you have to go through that stage to get to stage 4, which is unconscious competence, which is mastery.
Yes.
And a lot of people aren't willing to push through that because they go, no, it doesn't feel natural. So that means it's not right.
Let's talk about that. That's I think that's one of the biggest challenges, because I think we're both sitting here as people who've trained, worked hard at our craft, worked hard at our art.
Yeah.
And now at this point, it does feel like unconscious competence.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, well, no, but if you had to learn it, then it's fake, it's unnatural, it's not real, it's
phony.
It's phony. But what's the difference between developing a skill versus faking it? Like, what's the difference?
I love your definition of home, where you say home is the familiar, right? And to me, the way you currently communicate, you have a home. And that is because those behaviors you've been repeating for the last 10, 20, 30 years, right? So that feels like home to you. Whereas what people don't realize is, and I don't mean to take a long explanation for this. I think it's important. When you used to ask me what my home was when I was young, I would say my suburb. So I'd say Salisbury Downs. Then as I got older, I started to explore my city. I'll say Adelaide is my home, South Australia, right? And then as I explored more of my state, then I would say South Australia is my home. Then I explored more of Australia, I got Australia as my home. Now I've lived in LA and Southern California, I go, oh, I kind of feel like America's my home too. And then as I travel more of the world, I go, oh, the world is my home. The same thing with your communication skills. You have access to this incredible instrument, but your home is such a small part of that instrument. Say a piano has 88 keys, right? Right now, home to you is 5 keys because you're only familiar with those 5 keys. But as you start to realize you have access to this incredible instrument, you start to play the other keys, home becomes the entire piano. Whereas the struggle that people have is the moment they do something that they're unfamiliar with, instead of labeling it as unfamiliar, they label it as fake and